here we are. And what's up for you today?
Well, I've been looking at the ways that I work. And what I'm seeing is that I have a very generous heart. And that works. So, good.
Don't touch your generous heart. I want
right. Good for me. Where my problem arises and what I'm starting to see is that when I keep going out of my way and giving and it gets to be kind of up, I shift in my thinking. So instead of being in my heart and giving, I'm in my head thinking, is anything coming back here anytime soon that resembles what I do? And I know that everyone's different. I know there are different love languages, there's different expressions, all of that. And I don't enjoy myself in that place of the expectation. It creates shortness of breath, anxiety. It puts something between me and the person that I'm in this sort of keeping track of. And I'm really stuck. I don't know how to get past it. And I don't like myself in that place.
Get that. It doesn't match generosity very well.
Yeah. Not at all.
So in the time that we're spending together, what would you like to do with this?
I'd like to have a mechanism or create a mechanism or a signal to myself of when I switch, like create an awareness of when I switch. And is there a way in that moment to choose what's true for me in the moment that would be the highest good for me and the person I'm in relationship with?
Interesting. Okay. So recognizing a moment of switch so that you can reflect on it and perhaps make a different decision or but that you have a moment that is different than being straight into the automatic.
Yeah, I don't want to be, and part of what happens when I get to that point, the people that are closest to me, it can actually go to anger. And I really don't like that. And I want to have more mastery or partnership with that so it doesn't keep occurring. And it's like it's a repetition especially with certain people.
They just climb into a pattern.
Yeah.
So if we were to find that and create this framework for you that you could test out, how would you be recognizing that this is the one, or that it's any different than every other time you've tried to address this?
I think I would feel it in my my chest, more in my diaphragm, actually, and gut, that it would be true and accurate. And maybe I will revisit this again, but right now I need a way of working with it that will work for now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So is the solar plexus diaphragm place your usual mechanism for assessing truth or true for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I were to say, so what does your solar plexus say? Or what are you sensing? Either one of those would be ways of having you check in.
Yeah.
Good. What's a place to begin exploring to find that trigger or that cue that you're looking for?
So when I'm feeling generous and I'm in that giving place, I feel like everything's working and it feels good. I'm busy, I'm creative, I've got all this stuff going. That's a happy place.
Mm-hmm.
So it might even be like a blind spot that I don't see when it's gone off the rails. That I just see like I'm in it. I'm in the soup, and I'm not seeing that it's getting hotter. And I wonder what would help me know when, okay, enough's enough. And where does my giving border on the taking care of someone or seeing them less than or resourceful, capable, and creative?
Oh, because you can be in your happy spot giving, but you're not necessarily creating happy for the other person. Yeah.
That's the feedback I've gotten from a couple of people, and I'm taking it in and wanting to work on it. Yeah.
Ah. So do you want to explore that at all? The difference between giving and generosity with an agenda of taking care of, as opposed to giving generosity from happy place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hearing you say that you are getting feedback about that, but that you don't necessarily recognize it in the moment for yourself.
I do not.
You recognize it looking backwards?
What I recognize is that I identify what I'm doing with this person needs help, and I'm going to help them.
Ah, you never know when help will strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens consciously?
Yes. I think in terms of that they're between a rock and a hard place, and I can help them. So why not? Why not help them?
Yeah, because you're generous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I have it, I want to share it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if it would be effective to look at a situation and walk through it, and like diagram it or dissect it, or whether it would be fun to have one in mind that is that style as opposed to just pure generosity, joy, or what is a way that gives you good material to excavate?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have a couple of for instances that I'm thinking in my head.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that a mechanism is actually coming into my head as we're talking about this, is instead of assuming that I know what the person needs and fulfilling it, which I have had my whole life, an uncanny intuition on this. And it's, okay, it got me here, but now where do I go next? Yeah. Is to ask, would this be helpful to you? So that it's more from them than from me. Because I think where I go is, I've done all of this for you. What have you done for me? Yeah. And I don't like that.
So in that place of this person needs help and I'm just the person to do it, do you hear that on your way towards helping the person? You hear those words in your head?
I do. I think that I am the, rescue squad. Yes. Yeah.
So if you were driving your ambulance up, parked it, got out, and went over to say, so what do you need here? As opposed to parking your ambulance, rushing out with the stretcher, the bandages, all of the equipment.
Yeah.
Is that really something that feels possible to you, that you could do that pause and say, No, I hear that you're wanting some help. What does it look like?
Yeah. That feels like the missing piece. So I'm making assumptions. I have this big energy. I'm bowling forward. I'm just going to give it all. And it may not even be what the person needs. And then I want something, in return because I feel like I've gone out of my way. But they didn't ask me to go out of my way. They didn't ask me, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's that old classic rescue triangle, the rescuers.
Yes, definitely. So the victim, the rescuer, the perpetrator, and the rescuer. And I think that I have this inner sense of justice. So I think, okay, there's a perpetrator victimizing them, and I'm going to sweep in and be their rescuer. So I am completely caught in the drama. Yeah.
So we have a common language here because we know the drama triangle and we know the empowerment dynamic.
I recommend it highly.
Yes. So what you're picturing then, if you step back from automatically rescuing, but instead recognize that somebody else is in a situation where they may want more resource, but you're going to pause to ask, then what assumptions are you making about them that allow you to pause to ask?
I am shifting how I'm seeing them. I'm not seeing them as a victim, them against the world. I'm seeing them as equally whole, resourceful, capable, and creative as me. And I love them. And I am checking in with them to see what it is I can do to support them, or even if they need any support from me.
Yeah. What does that feel like in your solar plexus?
Well, immediately what came up was, well, how do I fit into this picture then?
What good am I if I'm not rescuing?
What will be my meaning? What will be my worth?
So let's go there.
Yeah.
What would be your meaning and your worth if you pulled up alongside and said, how you doing?
I think I would be a more caring friend, to see it from their lens, not from mine. And that if I'm really looking to help them, I would need more information than just my, projection or idea of what they need, or my assumption of what they need.
What happens in your body when you surface that, when you speak that?
It feels pretty easy, actually.
Mm-hmm. What value does it provide?
What came to me is that I see myself then as more whole, resourceful, capable, and creative, because I'm not thinking that the only way I'm of value to them is if I am a hero or, overly dramatic superwoman or something for them. That I'm aligning my friendship, my mothering, my whatever it might be, but I'm in alignment with them.
So you're still bringing all of you.
Yeah.
But it's more like a buffet.
Yeah.
Rather than a price.
It's not so scary. Yeah. I was even thinking, gosh, as we've been talking here, it might be scary to be at the other side of some of what I do. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I picture the way that you described it, that sense of I'm in distress and somebody sweeps in and kind of takes over, that there's a momentary time that I breathe in and relax and am grateful, but it doesn't take very long before I'm wondering what the heck they're doing in my stuff. Is that your experience? What happens to you when somebody sweeps in?
I guess what comes to my mind is my mother used to listen to me when I was working hard and I was building my way up in the world. And she would pivot to this place of my poor baby. And in my mind, I was thinking, I'm not your poor baby. I'm kicking it out there, and so, yeah, I think that there's a way that when I'm in that moving out of the happy place into the overwhelming, that I'm disempowering and not building trust with the other person. And for especially, relationships like, let's say, in the family, I could actually create lack of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which you know well what it feels like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where are we in this exploration? What's showing up for you?
Well, I'm feeling like although I'm in a declassification of ego-enhancing behavior. Yeah,
that's a fabulous phrase.
Yeah, it's not as painful as in years past because I see that what I want is greater than how I've been.
Wow. And what you want is?
I want to create trust. And I want, I don't want to scare people, for one thing. I want to show that I care with less doing and more being.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
a great phrase.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
So what triggered the tears?
Well, definitely the depth of caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's not the fear of changing my behavior. It's more that I care, and maybe the realization that that I might have some cleanup to do.
Mm-hmm.
People I care about. Yeah. Yeah.
That you have some cleanup to do right now, or that
I might have some cleanup to do with a couple people in my life right now. Like
simply, and what would that cleanup look like?
I think to acknowledge how I've overdone and where it came from without a lot of excuse making. Simply that from that, and that what I'm learning is that how I want to be in relationship with them is to ask them questions and see what's going on for them rather than swoop in, take over, and run the show and disempower them in any way.
And what's your phrase? I want to show that I care through being rather than doing.
Yes, to show that I care through being rather than doing. Yeah.
Yep. That brought both goosebumps and tears to my eyes when you said it the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were looking for a mechanism or a cue. You discovered that it really occurs very early in the generosity that goes sideways, and that you hear it actually on your way into the interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So your choice from here is?
My choice from here is to not roll over, kind of warning signal, and to check in with myself and check in with the other person, whether it's through texting or calling. Just check in before I keep moving through action. What they want or need from me. If any.
Solar plexus check. How's that land?
They're good. They're really good. They're open. Yeah. Yeah. Open.
Is there anything to add to that would make it more complete?
No, it feels really complete. It feels really. What I'll probably add to it is some journaling, and I do little 3x5 cards with a question. What was I thinking? Is there anything you want or need from me right now? No, that doesn't sound. How can I support you right now? How can I support you right now? I really care, and it feels, just that.
Again, also, I really care. How would you like me to be with you right now?
Mm-hmm.
That it sounds like you're crafting something that is an invitation to the other person, but that you don't want to put gooey words on it.
Yeah, right. Edit back. Yeah, even the words can be doing. So yeah, to make it an invitation that is about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really good stuff, Jen. Thank you.
Welcome. Is there what's your way of testing this out? I always think of it as like sort of a laboratory.
Yeah.
And so testing it and then being able to check back with yourself or with us about what happened and what conclusions you create.
It feels like a moment-to-moment, day-to-day thing, because this is a frequent
lots of material.
So I feel like the personal empowerment game, kind of keeping little maybe even on, because 3x5 cards are easier for me than 8.5 by is to look at during the course of a day, what were my wins? Like, did I win where I used it, and celebrate my wins as I begin this pretty big shift in my being.
Anything else that you want in place to support you moving forward with it?
I have a feeling I'm going to find a song. Yeah.
Will you send me the title or send me the song?
Yeah, I will.
That inspires me. I can see how it could, how easy it would be to run the song and then support my forward action if I were putting that into play.
Yeah.
There's something else there?
I'm just cooking on my
working on the sign.
Yeah. It'll come to me, and I will send it to you.
So what's your takeaway from today?
Well, I honestly didn't think we were going to be able to find a way through this, because it's just been so big in my life, and it's just been, I've been ruminating over this. So I'm really grateful to this time, and grateful that I have a way of beginning to work on this, and it matters to me, and to have a process to change this is, to me, just super valuable, and I can't wait to start playing with it.
What I'm taking away from all that you said was the phrase, when you notice that by holding the other person whole, capable, resourceful, and creative, you are also holding yourself more so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm taking that one to my journal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So is this a good pause spot?
It is.
All righty. I will then stop.